Hey everyone, Nerd Day Mark here. I'm playing catch up on comic book reviews right now, obviously. Hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving week. I enjoyed my time off, spent time with the wife, had some other stuff going on before then so I've been kind of distracted with the personal stuff. But I'm catching up on comics today. I'm going to be talking about issue 114 of Power Rangers The Darkest Hour. Yeah, that is the zombie Billy cover. I also did pick up the regular base cover as well as the nice helmet variant. I wasn't gonna get like variants as much anymore, but the fact that we had the red Zeo with the Mighty Morphin red, like the regular red, like I was like, I can't say no to that cover. I am mad I missed out on the Thanksgiving cover, but my comic shop, they have some at their other location, and so I don't have to drive all the way over there. They actually are going to bring that cover to my local location that I go to, so I can just pick it up there when I get my new comics this week. And I was like, I appreciate when they do that, honestly. That's why you go support your local comic book shops. Now, I have some just little quick little notes. Usually I don't make notes, but because I read this and then I took the notes because I knew I was going to be able to record this video the same day that I read it. Usually I do. Dude, Darkest Hour, I'm not going to lie, like, it's living up to the name. I like the dark and grittiness of this, and I do like, I'm not going to do a play-by-play because I really don't like doing that with comics. I like to just talk about the issue itself, some of the story stuff, what I think. Obviously, the art, Simona, that art's so good. Always so good. I have nothing but great things to say about the art. Obviously, Melissa Flores killing it with the writing. I like how there's certain elements in lore diving that goes into it. Like, some people may brush it off, but let's face it, back when the White Ranger was introduced, when Ryan Parrott was writing for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they kind of just like, oh yeah, he's getting more powerful than any other Ranger. He's got the white light. Now Melissa's going a little bit deeper because Tommy's been captured by Dark Spectre. And his goal is he needs to corrupt him, turn him into a Dark Ranger. But he can't. Tommy is basically uncorruptible because of the powers and what Zordon did to and how he gave him his new powers. So I'm like, oh, we're gonna get some lore, some deep dive into these white light powers, because I'm here for it. I'm here for whenever's lore. Obviously the Phantom Ranger has appeared in front of Billy. Billy was trying to use the eggs, the power eggs, to like restore the arch that was in the Bermuda Triangle, but we got our Phantom Ranger. And I do like that the interaction where he's, basically pointing his gun at Billy, but then we got our Draken Ranger, Trini, who basically hits him in a little chokehold with the daggers. I like her version of the daggers. I always say this, I don't like the Lightning Collection toys and this and that. I do have, like, the Dark Rangers and the Alien Rangers and a few other, but like, I want those. Those daggers are nice. I like the designs on them, like more teeth on them, a little more bladey for my liking. So I do enjoy, like, from the standpoint of like Zordon talking with the Phantom Ranger. Basically, they find out because they threaten to cut Phantom Ranger that he's like, hey, this is just a suit. There's no physical form inside of there. And him and Zordon talk about the fact that he has no physical form now, and I'm like, okay. I was like, the Phantom Ranger, I like the Phantom Ranger. From the one shot and everything else, like, I was like, it's a cool character. A lot of mystery, and I'm hoping, and I have a feeling they're going to play a big part in this overall story. Speaking of, so I always try not to compare the arcs together, but I have to compare Darkest Hour to Shattered Grid for a minute. Just for a minute. Indulge me, if you will. So you know how in Darkest Hour or in Shattered Grid we had that whole, like, okay, Draken army and all this stuff, and then we had all these Rangers from all these different multiverses and timelines coming together to just do this one big battle. I feel like the multiverse stuff is being handled so well in Darkest Hour by Melissa Flores, because in Dark Spectre's, like, base, they have a whole, Adam and Rocky have been kidnapped, and they have all the other Rangers. And there's a funny moment where, like, we're Power Rangers, and it's like, duh. And then someone's like, oh, Wild Force Black. And then they're like, Rocky's just like, we're Mighty Morphin. And it's a callback to the time they had a list of all the names, and they didn't pick on what their team was going to be called. Even Abs was like, was that what we were decided on? I thought we didn't decide on a name. Just a quick little footnote. But back to my point. So we have all these Rangers that are captured, right? And I'm like, well, what if we have a scenario where we have all like just a huge army of Dark Rangers going up against the regular Power Rangers, the Rangers that are just good. And it would be a lot different than the Draken one because, Draken had, his ultimate timeline and he was getting more power and it was a lot of minions and monsters and this and that. But like from the standpoint of these are just corrupted Rangers, so these are their friends. And I feel like the fighting would be a little more personal, a little more stakes there because you don't want to hurt your friends. I will say that I do like that kind of there's the dissension already in the ranks with Dark Spectre, like, obviously Mistress Vile. There's kind of like this subtle hinting that like, hey, well, not even hinting, it's there that like, underappreciated. Just a minion not thinking, there's a few times like we are gonna do this. Like, what do you mean we? Like, this is something that's been consistent in the last couple issues, and I'm like, even when before, I don't even think it happened in this issue because I don't have a note on it. It's just in my head, like Death Ranger talking about, kind of talking a little bigger than he's supposed to be in the rankings. I do like the Death Ranger though. I thought it was really cool that like, Death Ranger going after Kimberly. And yeah, Matt making the save is cool. Matt's arc of, everything he had with like Tommy, that's not him thinking it should have been him that was captured, him, going through that I was evil, having those regrets, and then Tommy kind of be like, I was evil too, like I understand. Matt's getting some good character growth. He makes a save, but even with that subtle little Death Ranger being like, maybe not this Kimberly. I don't know the exact words he said, and I was like, all right, it was like that, with his multiversal, this and that. I was like, okay, like there's a lot of foreshadowing, but we get some story as well. The Hyperforce Rangers are back in the fold from their one shot, and like I said before, I have no history with Hyperforce. I'm not knowledgeable on it. I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan. I'm just like, it's just I never checked any of it out. I watched other YouTubers to get kind of like the cliff notes before I talked about the one shot, and even then my one shot I reviewed it from the standpoint of someone who doesn't know Hyperforce. I do like that Finster making monsters, and they were in Angel Grove at the quarry, and he basically made Devastator. Being able to combine his monsters and having equipment just come to life as a big monster. Because the Power Rangers are separated, they don't have their Megazords, so we actually got the Hyperforce Megazord. I forgot the name of it. I just called it the Hyperforce Megazord. I'm pretty sure that's actually what it's called. I will be corrected in the comments if I'm wrong, obviously. But I thought that was really cool. Finster's always been fun. I always like Finster, and I'm really hoping like we get more like cool, crazy stuff that he can do. Like me and him being able to make basically combining monsters with, was it like an excavating unit? I was like, that's cool. I like that. There's just a lot going on in these comics right now, and I love it because it doesn't feel like there's too much where you can't follow it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think. I'm looking at like my notes, and I have some notes being like, okay, where are we gonna go with this? Because obviously, spoilers. There's a big at the ending where Tommy, I feel like is gonna be more integral and more important to all this than he is right now because of the whole white light and why he can't be corrupted. And I think there's gonna be some good character like struggles with him because by the end of it, Adam and Rocky are now corrupted Rangers, and I'm like, this is gonna be good. And I love the artwork design of it. And sadly, I didn't get a digital copy of this one, so I don't have ways to put images up, and I do not go to websites that put comic books up where you don't pay to read them, where you can get screenshots. I just don't support those websites, and I don't want them to get any traffic from me or anything like that. It usually they watermark them anyways, and yeah. So I just thought that was really cool. The artwork is just so good. The artwork is what's really killing it for me. Like, this is such a beautiful looking comic. Like, it's so good. Like, Simona's just killing it. Like I said, Melissa's writing so much good stuff, and I'm really sad because I haven't really been doing any videos for the Dead Lucky, but I need to. But other than that, episode issue I always call it episode issue 114 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, The Darkest Hour, is in its stride. Because it's a year-long event. I believe, was this like the 4th or the 5th? I think this is the 4th issue in it, because 110. No, it's 5 issues. So we're almost subtly to the halfway point of this event, and from the pacing of it, like there's always this like sense of impending doom there, that's like just underlying at all times. And I like that it's not just at, like, there's stuff at the forefront, obviously, but I like that there's just this sense, this like eerie nature that, okay, something is gonna happen. So I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for whatever that moment's gonna be, and I don't want to speculate, but there's definitely something major that's gonna happen with Matt, and definitely something with Tommy. That's for sure. And I'm curious more about this whole Phantom Ranger, Zordon, and also the Power Rangers. There's just so much stuff, and I like that we're not. Here's a reveal, or here's a teaser at the end of the episode. Here's the end of it, and next issue, it's there. It's fully written. No, like the Power Rangers have now been a couple issues now. It's like, oh, what's going on with that? I like that some stuff is being drawn out and built around, instead of here's your big reveal or your cliffhanger, and then instantly, like within the next panels of the next issue, oh good, here's is now push it to the wayside. It's like, nope, it's staying, and I love it. Ugh, Power Rangers. This is why Power Rangers has been on my pull list since issue 0 came out. This is the longest run that has been on my pull list. And so, like, there's a reason why I like love these comics. I love these stories. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on what we're getting after Darkest Hour. That's something else I want to do at some point. I know Ash Deoxy 360 did a video recently about post Darkest Hour. Go check that out. It's great. But yeah, that's it for the video. I thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you've been catching up with the comics. Like I said, we have no shows or anything going on right now, so now is the perfect time to jump in on those comics and read them. A lot of them are trades. We also have the Kickstarter for Power Rangers The Return from Amy Jo Johnson. That, I believe, is pretty close to $500,000 on Kickstarter. It's insane. And I did the video. I was going to do a follow-up, but I'm going to wait a little bit and see, because I know they added some new perks, like a 6.5 tier, so I'm probably going to do something on that later on the week or next week. But I thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.